Suzume comes out April 14th. Suzume is a Japanese animation or anime from writer-director Makoto Shinkai. Suzume is about a 17-year-old girl named Suzume who helps a mysterious young man close doors that are releasing disasters all over Japan. The animation quality in the trailer for Suzume looks amazing, and I have no idea what this film is about at all, and I just read the logline. This is a film that comes in at number 1 on my guests' April list. Sean Jackson from Lost the Reel joins me to talk about Suzume and writer-director Makoto Shinkai and why this movie is number 1 on his April list.
My number 1 is Suzume, and I am so excited for this movie. I've been waiting for it to come out for a couple of years now. But this is from Makoto Shinkai, and he's become very well known in the States because he directed Your Name, which is probably one of the best anime films to have come out.
He directed Dragon Movie Guy? The movie? Oh, the movie.
DMG, the movie.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So he directed Your Name, which became a huge hit in the States, and it's just an incredibly beautiful film. And then also Weathering with You, which came out about 3 years ago. So this is a director, like, watching every single frame in his films, it's beautiful. And even if the story with Weathering with You wasn't as strong as Your Name, but it still packed such an emotional wallop, and he's really able to create these very grounded stories, but that are also filled with fantasy. And I'm just so excited to see what he does next.
Were his other films anime style animation as well?
Yes. So all I'm familiar with is Your Name, and I know he's been around for a while, but Your Name was like his big break. He also, The Place Promised in Our Early Days as well, which is great. And then The Garden of Words.
When you put Suzume on your list, I didn't. So I looked it up and I watched the trailer, and I had to watch it a couple times. What would you describe the story as being? Because it looks like a whole lot of different stuff. I mean, I don't know quite what I saw. I know the animation looks really good, but what would you say the story looks like it's about?
So I felt the same way about his last film, Weathering with You. It was like, what is this about? All I know, it's about water and the weather. Like, that's literally. So what it says is, it's a modern action-adventure road story where a 17-year-old girl named Suzume helps a mysterious young man close doors from the other side that are releasing disasters all over in Japan. And so Weathering with You definitely had to do with like weather storms and like natural disasters and stuff, but playing around with weather and rain and storms. So this kind of looks on the same level. But like I said, his movies are very character driven, very grounded, but like fantasy. So you have to like let go of what your expectations are of, like, I don't know how to explain it, but just open your mind up to like a fantasy world where there are no rules, kind of.
And I am not a anime super fan. I've watched a few ones here and there. I saw Akira for years ago, and I've watched a few here and there. It was interesting watching this trailer because it kind of looked like it jumped between that Akira like really edgy like kind of thing. It looked like it jumped between that more adult kind of thing and the Nickelodeon style anime. Like it looks like it jumps like in between shots. Even is what it kind of sort of looked like. I could be completely wrong. It's just my interpretation of watching the trailer. It looked like it was jumping between those two things. And it's interesting when you talk about the doors too. Like it kind of that reminds me of like the Adjustment Bureau a little bit. Not in style, but just like in terms of like plot device and like, this trailer looks so bizarre. That's why I was asking you, like, what does this story even look like it's about? Because it looks visually stunning, and the animation quality looks so well done. But
Yeah.
it's just hard for me to like wrap my head around like, okay, what is this? What is the story here?
Yeah.
But
From the director, from just Makoto Shinkai, knowing him, it's going to be just absolutely beautiful. There's going to be some incredible action sequences and set pieces, and it's also going to have a whole lot of heart.
hmm,
So all of his films are very emotional, and I mean, every single one of his films that I've seen have made me cry. So I don't know. I'm ready for an experience, and that's what he gives.
nice, and that's why it's number one on your list because I have
Yeah.
not heard of him as a director before, and I've not heard of his movies before. So that is part of that is one of the things why I love having you on because I have not heard of him or his movies before. So the fact that this is showing up at number one on your list of anticipated movies, that's part of the discussion. That is why
Yeah.
I love talking about movies. So Suzume is the name of the lead female character in this film. Then so interesting.
Yes.